Because I am a short person, and when I'm sitting down, I just can't concentrate. I'm thinking like, so good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much, Linda, for the work that you're doing on these issues. These are so critical, and thank you for providing a forum for all of us to come here and hear from each other and learn from each other. Now, I want to start by saying that arguably there are at least three main factors that shape women's lives: the economy, culture and society, and law and government. And I would argue that law and government have an opportunity, maybe an obligation, to impact the other two. So, you know, even before the economic crisis hit us, working women and poor women were struggling. Wages have been stagnant for decades, and what's more, the laws and the legal structures that were created to assist women to address these issues and the added pressures of employment discrimination have fallen short. So even fallen short because there's many of us that have obviously benefited from laws like Title VII that was passed 40 years ago to address employment discrimination and protection for women in the workplace, and Title IX passed 30 years ago, which provided educational opportunities and protections for women. You know, but the reality is, again, they've fallen short, and as we moved along through these decades, the reality is that we have left millions and millions of women behind, and those are most marginalized, vulnerable, women of color, immigrant women, et cetera, and that so that, from my perspective, the legal structures have fallen short. Again, we know this. Linda talked about it. You know, women continue to experience disproportionate poverty, violence, discrimination, and are 42% more likely to be poor. They continue to be in occupational. Segregation continues to be a stubborn impediment that keeps women in low-paid jobs, and wage disparity between the genders continues to be an issue, probably now more than ever, since about 49% of the women are now part of the labor force. So the issue is, like, yes, is there an opportunity? Absolutely, there's an opportunity to do with the coming in of this administration. There's this opportunity. And the other thing that's interesting from my perspective is that this economic crisis has also created a space for us to talk about this, because before the crisis in Wall Street hit, the reality was that the working people, working women, and families were struggling. And somehow the country continued to operate along as if everybody was taking advantage of the shenanigans that we found out Wall Street was doing, and there was a particular percentage, a small percentage of the population that was taking advantage of this and doing well economically. But the reality is that the rest of the country wasn't, and nobody was paying attention, and our policymakers weren't necessarily interested. With this crisis, though, we now have a unique opportunity to talk about those people that have for years and years been disenfranchised. So the economy is one reason. The Obama administration and the way that they are approaching this by putting millions of dollars or billions of dollars into the economy to help working people also give us an opportunity to address these issues. From my perspective, very narrow, from a legal advocacy organization, of course we want to take advantage of this, so we have refocused all our programs. We're talking about two things: economic and personal security for women. So we do advocacy, legislative advocacy, and we're always looking for potential litigation to address some of these inequities. And again, our focus is on marginalized, poor women, the most vulnerable, immigrant women that have been left behind more so than other groups. So thank you very much.